Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. My camera cut me off. Like I said, I'm not a professional and I don't really do editing, but I gotta figure out a way to splice two videos together. This is my flowery mess in my front yard. These tires I actually found on the side of the road. I found somebody on Facebook that had a pickup truck that picked them up for me and brought them here to my house. My neighbor down the street cut the lip off of them so that I could have more growth space in here. The lip was about 6 more inches in because they're tires. Then I also put them on the ground on top of cardboard, and then I put branches and leaves, and then I put compost in there along with garden soil and peat. I planted all my tubers in here, like my bulbs, gladiolas, dahlias, and then I sprinkled some like zinnias in here. I don't know anything about growing flowers, so my zinnias are all crammed together. I should have spaced them out a little better. I will definitely do that next year, but this is the first time I've ever done it, so I'm excited to do it. I put some sunflowers out here too. They're getting pretty big. I'm excited about those. I have no idea what's going to happen in these buckets. I can't wait to show you a video about this in like 3 months because it's going to be like pretty explosive. Let me turn the camera around. All right, so in here, obviously, let me widen this view. Sunflowers, these are about 3 feet tall. This is all zinnias in the middle. I don't know what this is. No idea if it is a weed or if it is an actual flower, but I'm not touching it. Look at this. It's a tomato. Yep, growing here in my flower patch. No idea how that guy got over here. I got purslane over here. I got purslane over here. This is a zinnia. This is one of the tubers. I don't know if this is a dahlia or if a gladiola. Not sure if this is a flower or a weed. We're gonna leave it. He can hang out in my flower bed. Look over here. This might be a magnolia. No. Yeah, magnolia. Not sure if this is a weed. This is purslane. Again, I have this all over the place. Apparently this is edible. Have not tried it. I'm a little scared. Maybe somebody needs to cook that for me and let me taste their plants or taste their dish. Yeah, I gotta get in here and do some weeding. I've neglected this garden for a minute. This is a zinnia bud. That's awesome. I'm gonna have a zinnia here in a minute. More sunflowers, tons of zinnias. Not sure what this is. This might be the gladiolas or the dahlias. Have no idea. Like I said, I have never grown them before. More purslane. That's a nice healthy plant right there if anybody wants it. This, I don't know if it's a weed or a plant. I'm gonna let it go. This I know is something special. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm gonna leave it because it doesn't look like a weed. That's kind of how I tell as a weed or a flower. If it doesn't look like a weed, I leave it. If it looks like a weed, I leave it. I don't know how to do it. This cute little wagon, look at this. My friend John showed me a picture of this with flowers on it. I said how beautiful it was. And then the next day I came home and it was in my front yard. I am so excited about this little wagon. It's an antique. He gave me these flowers. I have no idea what they're called, but they are absolutely beautiful. I keep them watered. I'm going to keep them alive for sure. Have 3 more flower patches here. Again, tons of zinnias. I planted bulbs in here. I have not seen a lot of growth from the bulbs. Sunflowers. I put some wild seed mix in here. You can obviously see this is just a complete mess. But these are some cute little wild flowers. And I leave them here. Look at these little bulbs. These little guys. They'll turn into a cute little flower. Maybe we'll get some butterflies over here or hummingbirds. And then we have the garden. I just hung my cattle panels this week so that we can grow our tomatoes vertically. And the pepper patch. Definite pepper patch. But I just went through and did a video on how to seed save. So that's what those little bags are for on my blossoms. All of these are tomatoes. There's several varieties in here. I think there's about 22 plants in here, and all my magnolias, because the pests do not like the scent that a magnolia. Is that a magnolia? Are those, what are those called? Those. Magnolias? Nope. Why am I not knowing what those are called? I have no idea. I'm totally drawing a blank right now. Magnolia. That's not a magnolia. Oh my goodness. Total brain fart right now. I have no idea what those are called. It'll come to me, I'm sure. I just haven't had my coffee yet this morning. But all my peppers are out here. These are like your hot peppers. So these are the peppers that are jalapenos and stuff. I've been pinching off the blossoms because I didn't want them to stunt the growth of my plant. Then these are all sweet banana peppers, and then it turns into red bell peppers and orange bell peppers and green bell peppers. And then I have some serranos and habaneros over there. I have 4 cucumber plants here along the wall. They're finally just getting their blooms. And then under here, since I nearly fried my Beni Kodima watermelons, my Sugar Baby watermelons, and my Kajari melons, I put them under the shade cloth here so that they will survive. I didn't hard them off long enough, so they almost croaked on me. Thank God I had this kind of netting fencing junk that I put up here, so it kind of saves them a little bit. This whole bucket here is 4 plants of cucamelons. Cucamelons are little bitty mouse melons. They're round like a very large grape, and they are cucumbers. So they are taken off like crazy right now. They got to just hang on to themselves over here until I can get the trellis up. What my goal is for this space is to put all of these buckets along the driveway here, put stakes in the ground here, and arch trellis over to my garden so I can walk through this space here with all of these arched melons going over the top. I have mesh produce bags that I can cradle and kind of like hammock my melons when they start to produce. Something I wanted to show you. These are the snapdragons. So the snapdragons I showed you earlier, that's what these are. But they're so densely planted in here and they're all root bound. As soon as I separate these out and kind of split them up a bit and put them in the ground or in a pot, they're going to grow tall like the other ones. So I'm going to put some of these in those flower tires. But my trellises, I put them pretty high off the ground. And once these guys get a little bit taller, then I'm going to start tying them to the cattle panel trellis and grow them up. I've been cutting off all the suckers. I saved a couple suckers in this little thing of jars of water. Just in case a storm comes by and knocks over some of my plants, then at least I have some extra plants going here. I'm rooting those. My rain barrel with all my watering buckets, that thing is full to the brim because it rained again yesterday. Look at that. Full of rain. I wish I had 10 of these things because it would fill up in one rainstorm. We trimmed down my tree. There were branches hanging so low they were hitting my head over here and hitting my head in the yard over here when I would mow the yard, and we had to stop that. So a sweet neighbor named Carlos came by with his chainsaw and chopped some stuff up for me, and then I saved some firewood, and I still got that little bunch there that I have to chop up. Let's go around the side of the house to my side garden. Yeah, I got more veggies because I'm addicted. Oh, I like it over here. It's shaded. So this is my side yard garden. Ta-da! So let me turn the camera around. These are all peppers. In here, I have them all marked. I can't tell you the name of them. There's that pesky moth again. He's got to go. Go away. And then all of my tomatoes. I have a Principe Borghese. This is a mystery plant. I do not know what it is, but look at that stem, how thick that is. I cannot wait for that to be something. Sucker, get you off of there. This is a mystery plant also. I have no idea what tomato this is, but I'm saving the blossoms because I think one of these is the Abe Lincoln. Before I sold all my plants, I put the ones that I wanted to must grow over here on the side of my house in buckets, and then I planted them and I lost the stem or the plant marker, and I think it's actually down in the bucket. So I have no idea what this plant is. It's totally different than this plant. This plant's almost like the husky cherry that's in the backyard. These are pretty hefty plants here. I can't remember what this one is. Where is it? Cherokee purple. Cherokee purple, Principe borghese. That's a small cherry variety that's really good for drying and dehydrating and cooking with them. Mystery, and a Brad's Atomic Grape. And then bell peppers here, and look at these squash. Oh my gosh. I've never grown squash in my life, and I've never grown squash in a bucket. I'm so glad these are not the vining variety, but look at how healthy these plants look. This is just nuts. Look how big these sleeves are. And then this is a variety of yellow squash that's almost variegated. I thought this was a disease, but I sent it, I posted it on the Facebook page, and people said that this is a variegated variety and it's not a disease. But I got my first squash. Look at him. The flower is almost as big as the squash. So that's my first squash. You get to see it today. These are what they call a grand bell pepper mix. So basically the seed packet had all 4 colors of peppers on it: orange, red, yellow, and green. I planted them in cups. They were all really riddled with pest damage. None of my other peppers looked like this. Only this variety had pest damage, but they survived. I've just neglected them and they survived, so I thought they deserved a chance, so I threw them in this thing. I was told you can plant 2 pepper plants in 1 5-gallon bucket. So I went ahead and planted 6 in this guy, thinking same thing. It's like 3 5-gallon buckets right next to each other, and hopefully they'll produce something. If they do, then people get to eat it. Marigolds, not magnolias, marigolds. That's what that's called. Basil. I got this from the farm. I'm going to have to come in here and prune this down so that it can regrow, because this isn't sweet anymore. It's got a weird taste to it, but we got this from a horticulture place that just basically gave this to us. I'm going to trim this all down. Hopefully it'll come back really nice and bushy. This is an Ace Hardware plant. This is called a Sunburst. So this is a yellow tomato. I've never grown a yellow variety tomato, so I'm waiting for some blossoms to come on this so I can save the seeds. And then this is a large cherry tomato. So more peppers. But that's all I got. Oh, a little bit of peppers here and some zinnias. So that's my side garden. Just wanted to share that with you too. It's coming up to be around noon. And then this entire garden here will get complete sun until about 6 o'clock tonight. You can see where the shade line is right here. It's about 11:30 right now. So that's my gardens. That's what I wanted with you today. I don't know even when the last time is that I shot a video, but I wanted to show you the progress. Something that I will mention, my girlfriend Laura, I gave her a bunch of the tomato plants that I grew this year. And we put them in her garden at her house, and her garden soil is pretty well mended. Her dad had a garden there at her house for about 6 years, and so we put the plants in her garden, and versus what my tomato plants look like versus her tomato plants, it looks like they're completely a different breed of plant. And that just goes to show you with how well your soil is amended, how well your plants will do. So with the garden bed behind me, what I did was I just hand-tilled the top layer, put some topsoil down, and like a 1/2 inch or 1 inch of about 3-month-old broken down horse manure. Now I know that when the soil breaks down horse manure, it pulls nitrogen out of the soil. So then the plants are lacking nutrition of nitrogen. So I might have to feed my soil here to give them a little bit more nitrogen. Although after the 3 inches of rain we've gotten in the last week, I think that they're doing a little bit better. There's something to say about rainwater versus tap water. But her plants are looking fantastic. They're thick stalked, they're dark green in their foliage. Mine are not that way. Even the ones at the church are the same exact way. The church soil is virgin soil, never been planted in before, never been amended in its life. So those are a little bit behind these plants here. And then my plants, this is second year in the garden here. So when it comes to your soil, it really makes a huge difference. So I know Laura's going to have a beautiful garden for years and years to come. Me, I'm working on next year. Well, this will be year 3 in this garden, and the soil will be a little bit better amended. And then the one at the church, that'll be the second year next year for the soil to work well there to make the plants nice and strong. So I do have a pH tester and a soil tester to see what my the soil is lacking or missing. I'm going to take that over to the church, and I'm also going to test here my garden to see what my soil needs, and then go buy some amendments for it just to give it a little kickstart. But my plants are May 30th. Yeah, so exactly 1 month old this week is how old my garden is. And when I put these in the ground, they were literally 6 inches tall. It's a month in, and they've grown about 3 feet. So I'm pretty proud of the progress. I just wish they looked like Laura's plants. That's it. That's all I have for you today. I just wanted to share my garden tour with you. I hope you like my channel. I'll do what I can to share anything that I do in the garden with you, because I've learned so much from YouTube that I hope that I can inspire you like I've been inspired. I hope you have a blessed day. Until the next video, take care. Goodbye.